Hey, what's up, YouTube fans? So what I want to talk about in this video, right, is one of the most clueless lines of argument that people on the internet will sometimes make when I say that I'm an atheist, right, is that they'll be like, oh yeah, well, if there's no God, then where do all of the stars and planets come from? You really think that stars and planets could just form naturally? That's crazy. Well, if you really can't get how, natural processes could lead towards the formation of stars and planets, right? You'll want to consider, right, that there are natural forces, right, that can bring things together, such as gravity, right? So, it can be observed at any time. I take this ball, let it go. It falls down to the earth because of gravity. And it's not just like that for the earth. It's the same for the moon, Mars, the sun, black holes, everything in space, right? Every object in space, it gravitates towards each other, right? And so what would we expect then over time to happen, right? You're going to more and more have things in space bundling up together, right? And so, I mean, that's part of it. There's also other laws of physics, right? But so like the fact that people just like act as though like that is like this crazy thing that like, seriously, how could there ever be planets and stars? It's really not too difficult to comprehend, right? And it really doesn't explain anything at all, right? To say that, there was a God that made it happen, because how did this God make it happen? He just says like, let there be a star and let there be a planet, and then it poofs up. That's not an explanation. That doesn't count as an explanation, right? Because when has it ever been experimentally demonstrated to be possible for a spirit to speak things into existence? That's never been experimentally demonstrated to be a possible way through which something could happen. And can you logically explain how that could happen? Can it be broken down and explained logically? It can't, right? So it doesn't count as an explanation, right? That idea has no explanatory power whatsoever, right? And so, I mean, even like in the case of things that we don't know what the explanation is, right? Science hasn't explained it. Religion also hasn't, right? Just saying that there's a spirit that says, let there be this and let there be that, that doesn't solve the mystery. That doesn't actually tell us how it happened, right? And if they want to say like that it's intelligent design, every example that they'll give for intelligent design is something made by a human, right? Whether it's like this Xbox controller here, or the iPhone I have in my hand here, or my car, a mouse trap, a watch, whatever. All of these things are made by humans, right? And humans, skillfulness in intelligently designing things is thanks to our highly complex brain, sensory organs, arms, and fingers. All of that is fundamental to our success in intelligently designing things, right? And so if God has none of that, then you have no explanation whatsoever for how he does the things that you think that he does, right? And if he does have those things, which I've encountered some people who think that God does have a human-like body, then it's not plausible to say that God himself would just exist without a cause, right? Because all of these body parts are extremely complex, right? So to say that it would just something with all of that would just by chance, without a cause of its own, just happen to exist, from a mathematical standpoint, that's a virtual impossibility, right? The chances of that being the case are so low that it's virtually impossible, right? Like it would be 1 divided by a number that would be so big it would take your whole lifetime to write the number, and even if you lived your whole lifetime, you wouldn't be able to write out the whole number. Even if ever since when writing was first invented, if people had started writing the number since then, and all the way up to now we're still writing it, they still wouldn't be done writing the number. That's how improbable that is. It's a virtual impossibility, right? And then they'll say, oh, well, but then how do you believe that those things could exist by chance in humans? I don't, right? So that's that's part of their misconception. We don't think that, right? We don't think that the human body is the way that it is by random chance. Ironically, they'll always think that it's us that think that. We don't, right? We think that it came about through the process of evolution by natural selection, right? Which is not a process that's just random chance, right? I've done other videos explaining how that works. And so, yeah, I mean, these lines of argument are kind of like, just like so clueless, it's like a little bit frustrating, honestly. All right, that's all for now. See you guys.